There you
go.
go.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Kapara on your face. Well, we need to switch to English
Yeah,
immediately.
I call this
We
I
did
call
the
this
thing.
alt shifting. I'm not sure if you're on Mac on PC or PC, but like when you switch the language. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Fully.
happens to me here.
I'm on Windows, but
Yeah, me
yeah.
too. Team PC master race. But like it happens to me all the time with my wife. Like we're like switching Hebrew English, Hebrew English, Hebrew English all the time.
Okay. Dude, I am the worst. How do you speak Hebrew with the kid?
I try to. I try to to put more
Right.
emphasis on that. She's already going ABBA, which is
Yeah.
really cute.
That's
Yeah, man.
nice. That's so nice,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's the we have the same thing here, and now I'm in between like horrible English and horrible
Yeah.
Hebrew. Like it's just it's a mess in my head. It's just like 50-50, and I don't finish a sentence in English because I finish it in Hebrew, and like Rio gets me,
Yeah.
you know. But like it happens to me when I like order a coffee. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm like and then I just like do it in Hebrew, and it's like oh wait no you're not.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not the right person for this.
Yeah, yeah. But I also feel like I
Nice,
also feel like
man.
it's kind of freeing, and as an immigrant in countries you've been multiple times, there's something freeing about it's
Okay.
like I don't belong to any of this situation. I'm a tourist in the world. I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Walking in the supermarket, like
Yeah.
back home, like I would never like talk loudly in a grocery store, but like walking around here, I'm like, I own this place. It's like I can say whatever I want.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of nice. It's kind of nice
Yeah.
to feel that the world
I like
is
it.
yours.
It keeps you in the vacation mode
Yeah,
instead of like
exactly, exactly,
staying in one place.
exactly.
Even though like it definitely feels like Australia is like my place now after 3 years.
Nice.
It's still there's still something there that's like I mean obviously home is Israel, but like the yeah, it still feels like a vacation or it just feels unreal. Do you know what I mean? I don't know where it comes from,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not what I'm used to for
I
20
think
years
about
of my
this a
life.
lot, about the immigrant experience. I feel like it's a lot. It's hard to describe. I didn't think it's gonna be that difficult going into it, because like it catches you in
Right.
those small places where you're like trying to do the most basic thing and someone doesn't get you, and then you're like, do I belong here or I don't belong here?
Never mind.
You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess this is
Yeah,
a.
it happens a lot with
Go ahead.
it happens a lot with like the I mean for me sarcasm. Luckily in Australia they got that thing down
Yeah.
packed. And humor, like the way the humor in Israel is very
Yeah.
particular. And you make fun of each other because of the ethnicity.
Yeah.
And like that is that's a big thing. And over here it can seem like oh, and I'm like oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like that's just how we talk to each
That's
other.
how we do it. Like, and actually, like, if you talk to
Yeah.
someone like that, it's actually like a sign that you're getting close to them, you know? So
Yes. Yes.
they should feel
100%.
good about it.
100%. I can't remember what happened, but the other day a mate, in New Year's, man, on the dance floor, and a mate made fun of me, and that was the first time she made fun of me, and it was a very good, like she made really good fun of me.
Nice.
Like that was a very funny thing to say, and I was like, I never felt closer to you. Like this is like, it's like the ice is broken, and we can do this thing to each other now.
Nice.
It was yeah, it means so much,
And
man.
how long have you known this girl?
Have you ever? Oh man,
See?
years,
Okay.
years. Yeah. I mean, I love her to death and stuff,
Yeah.
but like, it's just there's just something about that the like fuck you
Yeah.
vibe that I just love, man. It feels like love. Have you done it before? Have you like moved out of Israel before this big move
No,
that you guys did?
no. Like, trips and stuff, but like not like that. We've been like 6 months in
Yes.
the States before, so it was like that. But like, man, like we had a car and we traveled like, I think like in 4 or 5 months,
Right.
something like
Yeah.
that. We traveled like 22, 21 states. So it's like
That's
moving. Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
Some Americans don't do that
Right.
their entire lives.
100%. I was in the Dead Sea like twice, and like one time was with Millie.
Yeah.
Like I just even when it's like 45 minutes from my home.
Dead Sea is overrated.
Yeah, I totally
Don't
understand
scold
how
me.
they don't. Yeah. Yeah, nice, man. Cool. And so you've made the move because of family stuff, but you're also like you're way more a part of. I guess I mean you're a huge part of the Israeli scene, but you're a huge part of the U.S. scene now, right? Like
Yeah, so
you're really
yeah, things have been going in a lot of directions. I'm working on my green card now, so like when I have that, I'll be able to start making, real legal moves in the States in terms of work, which as of now I've been not even trying because like I have plenty to do
Yeah, you're
back
with
in
the
Israel.
Israeli
Is
people.
yeah, that's my tribe, and I'm still connected to that, and there's a lot to do over there. But basically, since I've joined Fusion Culture in 2018, like within a few events, I already took over basically the entire international department because being a music producer myself, I always wanted to be in touch with Lance Switcher and all of our friends, all the artists that I used
Yeah.
to love back in the day, and just like try to be friends with them. And what started as just friendship then became me booking them, and then them staying on my couch and making music together. So since then, I've been working all year long about making connections overseas. And the American market has been interesting me for a while because I feel like there's, at least in terms of bass music and that kind of alternative electronic music, there's lots of innovation here. Uh, People are taking it to the next step where, and it's like, it's becoming more defined. You know how Americans love to name everything. So it's like, there's a lot of things now happening within that space where
Yes,
I feel
yes,
like in
yes.
Europe, like
Yeah.
they're still a little bit behind in like moving to the next step. Like, what Psytrance, its alternative was chill out turned into like side up, side glitch and all that stuff. But it like never went like all those moves like further where like here people are actually dancing to down tempo music. For us, down tempo is like psychedelic dubby chill out music, but here down tempo is like
Yeah.
deep dubstep that is like not, uh,
Yeah.
Skrillexy and bro steppy. So there's
Yeah.
the American industry has been interesting me for a while. So I've done a lot of work and like getting to know people, artists, promoters, venues, and that kind of stuff. So I never planned like when I started like creeping into the people in the American scene. I never thought I'd actually move here, but here I am. So yeah, it actually feels kind of nice to be like, okay, yeah, no, I actually know a lot of people here. So
Yeah. And it makes sense, like for you to actually experience the where it's
yeah,
at. It's very different to like. I feel like when I saw the American scene from Israel from my computer, and then when I was there, I was like, oh my god, it's so like even though that's exactly like in the photos and the videos, it was still like a culture
yeah,
shock, and the sheer amount of people that are into stuff that is a chill stage material in Europe.
hmm
And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, the expansion of the possibilities
yeah,
that happen to someone that makes bass music in Israel or fucking everywhere.
yeah,
So that I remember that being very exciting, and then yet like you still have the small genres within the umbrella of bass music that it's still hard to navigate, and markets fluctuate
yeah,
and stuff like this, but it was still so much more opportunity
yeah.
than anything
I feel
else.
like from the outside, people don't really understand how big America is. Like it actually is like a lot of.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
like a lot of countries. So like there's lots of markets
Yeah.
within the bass music market. Where like in a lot of people in a lot of places across the world, the markets are a bit more like you're either on this festival circuit. So like Ozora, Boom, Own Spirit, all those
Yeah.
festival, which is it doesn't mean that you're big in Hungary or or anything like that. It's just you're on the
100%.
festival circuit, which is separate to the local circuit. So yeah, here you can do both. You can be part of the festival circuit, which is people traveling to festivals, and there's lots of markets. So I think in terms of career potentials, there's definitely a lot more career potential. There's a lot more competition here because of that. It's not, yeah. I mean, there's lots of
True.
opportunities, but it's not an easy market at all. So I'm still learning that. I
Right.
think it's very
I
interesting.
guess.
Yeah, with the work I'm doing with Dor, with Nuek, like we brought him here because there was lots of interest in his act. The visa process was a pain in the ass, and we can swear on this podcast, right?
I It's mostly swearing.
Yeah. So yeah, we're still learning that and like understanding how to make a career, how to make a living within this market. I feel like it's very interesting, and yeah, it's a journey. It's a lifetime journey. I'm sure you know.
Yeah, and I feel like that I even though it's not as simple. It's one of the simplest, just because the US, you can stay within the same country and have, you can have a global, it's similar to everyone else having the global problem, but you're in the same country.
Yeah.
So speak the same language, it's the same, everyone knows the agents, everyone knows the
Yeah.
managements. Like, it is, in a way, it's more contained because the
Yeah.
US is so
I
big.
like,
And I feel like for almost everyone else, they will have to be a global artist, which is like, I feel it for myself. Like, I have to be a global artist. I'm not in the
yeah.
US, and for that, that is very different to find those connections. Even though it's not like if you have connections in Denver, you have connections in freaking Michigan, but it's kind of like you almost do. Like, you're probably 2 phone calls away from someone that has connections in
Yeah.
Michigan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe
I
I'm
like
wrong.
what you're saying because I think because it's so big here in the States, it kind of makes it similar to being an artist in the rest of the world because it's so big. So anyway, you have to communicate over email. You have to talk with a lot of people that you
Right.
don't know or don't meet at the bar, which in local scenes, I would advise artists to go to that bar, go do some drinks,
Right.
go have some drinks with that promoter that you want to get to know, go to events, see the people. But where you're in such a big market that is not local, you have to get better at making distant connections with people that you don't know. Which, yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny because a lot of the artists that I mentor and coach, like they're joking between themselves, like how Aviv is sending us to talk to random people on the internet again, which is like, I mean, but yeah, you got to get good at this stuff. You got to like start practicing, and it's like
100%.
it's very embarrassing in the beginning, and then you get better at it, and you never know.
Especially when you know that you're one of many that's doing the same, because it's the only way
Yeah,
forward is to connect with the person that can help you to, with that opportunity. You know that there's 50 like you. So it's very awkward to be like, hey, do you want to, and you're just probably saying the same sentence that someone else says. And yeah, it's very, it's hard to think that you're special as it is, and then to come to someone, humbly, in a humble way, just to connect and still have a means to an end with a relationship. It always feels like a bit inauthentic, even though it's completely fine. I know it on myself. I'm sure you have a similar thing where, like, when there's a means to an end, when you start a relationship, it's always like, he knows it, you know it, you're both like in
yeah.
a, is this nice, is this not nice? Yeah, there's a lot of, like, not judgment, but
But
yeah,
I think
you want to make sure you make the right move.
this is a really good thing to like take some time on because everybody wants something. And if you're
Yeah.
reaching out to someone and you want something from him, you should consider also, okay, what do I have to give here? At the end of the day, if you're talking to another artist, even if he has more followers than you on Instagram, or if he did the biggest shows and, he's still a dude like you who makes music on a computer, who falls in love just like you, probably owes someone some money to someone, like like at the end of the day, it's not like you're talking to some like Madonna artist who like just in order to reach out to them, you gotta like go through a bunch of agents. It's some dude on Instagram just like you. And I think when you
Yeah.
understand like that these numbers mean nothing, we're all just dudes, then you can think if someone reached out to me, and asked me for my opinion as an artist, what would interest me? Maybe I can ask, like, maybe if someone asked me for my recommendation or my experience, I would be happy to share that. So I think there's
Of
a there's
course.
a lot of like when you're reaching out to people, like really try to think what would you have loved to hear, like a nice word on your music, maybe an opportunity that you have to give them, maybe a connection that you can share, maybe some assets, maybe some tips, maybe something. Just if you're coming to this with like I'm here to make a connection, I'm here to make a real human connection, not just like a professional connection. Then I think there's lots of opportunities, and also I think a lot of times we're thinking very short term. Like I would say something to this guy and I either got what I needed or I didn't get what I needed. But these things they really go a long way. Like maybe this time he won't answer your message, but in reality they saw the message and like they were like, I'll just answer it some other time and they forgot. And then you'll follow up and then they'll
Yeah.
answer really lovingly. Or maybe they won't. but then they'll see you at an event, a few years down the line. They'll be like, oh, that's the guy. Dude, you're so good. I never responded to you. And maybe even if that didn't happen and then you stumble to them in a party, they'll be like, oh, yeah, what's your contact? And then they'll see that you've already texted. Like, I mean, there's so many places down the line that this could turn into something beautiful. So I think it's important
Yeah.
not to think like, oh, I texted some people and they didn't answer me. Like, who cares? Just it's like online
Yeah.
dating. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
go spread. Go send flowers to some people. You know, you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. And my favorite
Fully.
artist ended up like staying on my couch. We made music together. We've had like some crazy experiences in the States, outside of the States together. You never know what it's gonna turn into. So go talk to random people online.
Yeah. I love that, man. Yeah, I had heaps of like a really good friend is from one of those people. Were you in the scene when there was like Lost in Sound?
Oh yeah,
They had like a
back in the day.
yes.
Yeah.
So back there, yeah, back in the day, I remember and they helped me heaps, and you're still like a really good
It's like
friend, and that and a lot of other
2015,
connections.
early glitch, like maybe even earlier than
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's like yeah. Anyway, I mean the amount of like messages I sent at the beginning of my career, and very rudely as well. I was like, "Can I have this thing?" Like just like like, it wasn't. Though I want to believe that because I knew I'm in it for the long run, which is the thing that you said that you think in years, not in
Yeah.
months. That vibe which that is a enormous shift in people's
Yeah.
heads and it can make your decisions be way better. But because I was there already, but still I was very like young and Israeli, it was very like it wasn't, though I would give whatever they want because I wanted whatever I wanted. And I like to give, but like the way I asked was very asky, and I got even then I still got a bunch,
Yeah.
and they didn't have to give me. They didn't have to. They were just legends. And some didn't. Some didn't answer me and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I got a lot from doing the thing. So I totally agree with you. Like, yeah, and it's actually the only thing you can do is the thing. Is like the reaching, the
Yeah.
communicating, the contacting the person on the other side.
I think people
So
really
yeah, that's
think
big, man.
people really think. I'm gonna put my phone on silent. People really think that the world is very structured and organized, where in reality it's
Right.
very chaotic. We're all like points in space, and you can go and reach out and like if you think that like this guy is a big artist, so he won't, why would he be interested in me? Like maybe this guy is offering mastering services and he would actually love to master your music. Maybe he's doing classes and he can share some knowledge with you. Like maybe and we were talking before, like what do I have to give? Maybe the thing you have to give is money, which is great. Like I want to learn from
Yes.
you, like, and that could be a beginning to a relationship that would turn out to give you what you wanted. And I'm not saying this in a cunning way. Like I really think, like, what do I have to give?
No, that makes heaps of
I'll be
sense.
honest. Like I am in a kind of like lucky like a position because I have a festival company. So like in a way, nowadays at least, when I'm talking to people, I'm always talking with like money on the table. You know what I mean? So artists like basically have the interest of responding to me if they want to perform in my event, which is great. And this is, I'm not gonna lie, I sent like text to people online like today, like a bunch. So like it's a daily thing. You just gotta practice it,
Yes.
work on it, not be ashamed, not think
Yeah.
too highly of other people in sense of like why
Yeah.
would they answer me? Like people aren't like that.
And it is very hard when you start, and it's if you don't want to burn your own candle faster, make it look like you're worth responding to, and that can only come by, if you're going with Instagram and not an email, it can only come with having a very nicely done Instagram page. Like if they would be like, "Who's this guy?" and you have a very active page, of someone that's doing cool shit in the world, they'll probably answer you. There's more chance that they'll answer
Yeah,
you. Like anyone, like a festival, like a promoter, like a person you want to learn
yeah,
from. Even if your music is not there yet, they'll still be like, "This is a serious person." So it's like, oh, I guess same goes to email. Even if you just like make your email look
Yeah, I
nice,
mean,
do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like there's
totally.
like a thing at the bottom. And,
Yeah, you gotta
yeah,
make a good impression, and you gotta be nice and respectful. And
yeah,
like, again, if you
yeah,
think about how you would want to be approached and by who you would want to be approached, like, how would you want
yeah,
people that talk to you to look? Then you can really think about what you want to give in that sense. Yeah.
100%.
But this
Yeah.
is fun. But like,
How did
but
you?
I
So
would
how
also say,
you
I would also say that like,
give it to me?
if you are new to making connections worldwide, I would say just get at it and shoot a lot of messages. Like go beyond that. Like go beyond that. Like I'm waiting for this one snowflake of a person to respond to me. Like go beyond that. Go to like the 50s, the hundreds. Go like to places where like it doesn't matter because at the end of the day you'll get one message that will be worth it, that will warm your heart, that will like remind you that it's safe to reach out
Yeah.
because it could be very
Yeah.
scary.
Hundred
Like when you
percent.
get when you're getting ignored from people that you value, it might make you feel like you're not worth responding to, and that's not just how it operates. Yeah,
100%. And I guess for if you are using an Instagram or
mm.
Facebook, just make sure that when they gonna look at your profile, you're gonna be worth commenting to. Because there's only some things you can control in that equation, and you can control who's responding to you, but you can control sending hundreds of messages and not two. Also control how you look. Like be a person that's
Yeah,
active online, and that will really help because you don't have, for example, a festival company,
yeah,
or you don't have an authority that comes with you. You're a random person on the internet that's starting to make music.
right.
You should probably think of making yourself worth commenting to, which could it's still authentic. You should just be a serious person. That like why would they talk to you? Which now it's harder. I feel like when I started and I sent those messages, the Sybase thing was so small that there are like 30. Do you know what I mean? Like there was like 30
Yeah,
artists and like five were big. Do you know what I mean? So when I send messages, it's just exciting because there's like another person on the other end that is into things that I'm into. So the connection is immediately there.
yeah. I think
But now it's like so saturated.
yeah, I think it's definitely easier to like have like a small community when you're doing like some underground renegade shit. Like when you're making something that's like nobody listens to like IDM breakcore. Like the scene like is like so small. Like I mean, not nobody, but like the scene is so small that people they wanna like
Yeah,
hear people who make cool shit. And now like at
yeah,
least in the Sybase, it's grown so big that it's like okay, like it's not the same as it used to be. It's like professional, so people are like acting as if they're wearing suits. But like yeah, just have fun. Just
yeah,
have fun with it. We're all dudes making music, dudes
yeah.
and dudettes.
Yeah. That is actually what you said before. That's a huge realization. That only happens, I think, at least for me, it happened like that. It only like really shifted when I met my heroes,
Right.
and your heroes are just fucking people. They're just random people doing the thing. They just have bigger numbers, and they made remarkable things in the world, which is why you feel connected to them. But that person that wrote that album is just a dude, and that realization only came to me after I met my
Yeah.
heroes, and that was very weird because I was very fanboy.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It was like very like I'm sending them a message. Oh my god, my life is depending on this one message. And then I remember one didn't answer at the beginning, so I sent another message and he answered at the second one, and it was just like he said. It was just like a nice message. And after that, I was like, oh, okay, I am stressing for no reason, which is fair. Like it's not for no reason. Like everything in your head that goes in your head that moment is very legit. But yeah, I think from the experience you understand way more than words before you do it. So like you kind of have to do the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, dude, how did you come? You started as a music producer, or you started as doing fusion culture or
I've
throwing
been making
parties?
music
How did you?
for many years. I think I was making music before Ableton, but I think I installed Ableton in like 2010 or something. So yeah, that's been in my veins and the way that I interact with music for many years. And at some point, one of my friends was like, "Hey, do you wanna start DJing at our like Burning Man camp and stuff. So I started getting into that. And I remember in 2018, Elad Kurdi, my good friend and business partner nowadays, he was like, "Come join us to Fusion Culture." I'm like rebuilding the crew and everything, and I was like, "Hell no!" Like no way. You guys are crazy. Like like it'll take too much time. It's clearly not your like main business thing or anything. So I was like, I was really worried about it, and that's also after we've been doing um, like underground raves with Glitch Beach and all that stuff for many years. I was like, I can't go into another huge project like that. But I was easily convinced, and yeah, I've done like one event as like a small part of the team, and like within a few events, I already took over some departments, and nowadays I'm the A&R of the entire operation. So I
Nice.
do the entire content department when it comes. So it comes to uh, music performers, painters, which is like led by Kojo, of course, and the performance and the workshop. So like nowadays I have like a much bigger role, and feels very good. Feels very good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's I can't believe that's been going for so long as
Yeah.
well.
Over 10 years at this point.
But it's just that's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I did not think that much time has passed
Yeah.
since that started.
Yeah.
Are you still making music?
I'm still making music. This past year with the relocation and the birth and everything, I feel like like early on in 2025, I took like a decision to like put that aside a little bit because I wanted
Yeah.
to make room for some other things like the family and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Something has to
yeah, but
give.
I'm looking forward for 2026. Like I feel like I'm charged with inspiration. You know those days where like, okay, you see that tutorial or that video or like you get this Patreon notification. I'm like, I actually want to make time and watch it, and I'm actually sitting and watching it. So like I'm feeling charged. So like yeah,
That's
2026 is
nice.
gonna be big. I'm
That's
excited.
nice. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. It's nice you're also like you're in a place where you can like go and play your music. Like you're in the I guess in Israel it's the same. It's the same thing. You always have a spot that you can go and play. Do you go back to fusion culture?
So
Oh, I guess now you're staying for the.
so because of my green card situation, I was here and I wasn't able to get out. But
Yeah.
fingers crossed. This coming April, the next festival, I'll be able to finally be there. Man, it's
Hell
been
yeah.
so hard to work the project, like work the company from here. It's like the festival week is
I
just
bet.
insane. Like I didn't leave the house for like 10 days, like sleeping like 3 hours
Oh my
here,
god. On
two
the
hours
phone.
there. Like I was here the entire time, like for almost a week.
Oh
It
my
was,
god.
yeah. I didn't even sleep on my bed because I knew that if I'm gonna sleep in my bed, I'm gonna oversleep, and I wanted to stay on
Yeah.
top of it. And I mean,
That's
it's not like
hilarious.
it's requested from me, but I want to stay connected and I want to be part of it. So
Yes.
because it's so in my
Yeah.
heart, it's so in my
And
identity.
because you're not there,
Yeah,
yeah. And you're not there, you want to be connected. The only way you can be connected is by being on your phone
exactly,
any
exactly.
any moment. Damn, dude, you should do a live stream. They should just like a live stream the festival for you, so you can
It
feel the
was actually
vibe.
supposed to happen, and it didn't work out there.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah. There was a camera that was
Oh
installed, but
man.
it didn't work there.
Oh
Yeah,
no, man. Hopefully in April you'll just live the
yeah.
experience.
Hopefully you'll
And
come
at
too.
what
No,
point
no,
did your one day, man,
for
one day
sure,
we'll make it
for sure.
work. Um, yeah, at what point did you pivot or like you came up with the idea of like how do you say coach? What do you say? How do you say it in
Yeah, so
Germany? How do
yeah,
you?
so nowadays I mentor and coach artists, and I do business consulting too for some artists, and for specifically Newark and Caterpillar, I do management too. And there's some other artists and DJs in Israel that I do agent work for as well. So
Or true
yeah,
booking
yeah,
agent or
bookings. I manage some bookings
right?
for people
So
over there. Yeah, wow, how did it happen? I think in 2020 it was. My good
right.
friend Absalom. Do you know him? Do you know his music? Yeah.
Yes.
So he's a
Yeah.
great
I just know
musician.
his Sarit Hadad
Yeah. Yeah.
remix.
He's a great musician.
Amazing,
Released
man.
some music on the Rust and some other amazing labels. So he came up to me and he
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, listen, I want to do some. I want to like take my project to the next level. I want you to help me out." And he asked me to be his manager or his agent. I can't remember one of these two. And I basically told him, listen, I'm like not ready to do that, but I want to help you. I want to find a way to help you grow your project. And with some consulting with friends and my wife, I came up with like some package to do weekly meetings with him to help him progress. And yeah, that's like from here to there, a few more people reached out. Second guy was Dor Nuek, and we've been working together straight ever since. Uh, yeah,
Wow.
so it just grew kind of organically. People reached out, and at some point, I was like, okay, I've done enough work with people. I've already have like um my cliche coaching exercises that I do to people. I have this program already, so I can start marketing it outside, and so I did, and it grew up to be my own business that sustains me, and it's really nice. Yeah, it's like
It's so nice when things happen like this, hey, when it's like organically life just be like, what about this thing? That just like, gonna like
yeah,
pushes you towards a direction and then you end up liking the direction of your life without even like,
yeah, totally.
though it makes sense in hindsight.
Totally. And it was also just after I finished working for Waves Audio, the plugin company. Um, I was working for them, and then I went traveling.
Oh yeah.
I went traveling a little bit, and then I came back and I did some freelance projects for them. So it actually came to me in the perfect time, also during COVID, where a lot of things were happening online. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
so
huge.
I'm very lucky to be able to have an online business. I feel like it's really freeing for me to be able to move a country and still like not really have my living be damaged in any way.
Yeah,
So
cut from
yeah, so
you.
this is beautiful.
And it's like 10 degrees outside. No, what did you say? 0 degrees
Yeah, it's
outside.
pretty.
So you don't have to go out of the
Yeah,
house when it's, yeah.
yeah. I miss going out of the house. Don't get me wrong. But like,
Yeah.
yeah,
At least you can like make money when you don't, yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So yeah, this turned out to be quite a big thing for me, and also my identity. And now having the festival company and being able to help musicians really aligns with my personality and my purpose of like wanting to see more art in the world, more community, like
Yes.
connecting people with culture and community. This is what we're all about.
That's
Yeah,
awesome, man. And it suits you. It suits you a lot. It's
yeah.
like it feel. I mean, like
Thanks,
I know you from here to there and stuff, but like your personality is
thanks, buddy.
like
Yeah, I
just
appreciate
it
it.
feels, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like this is like where it like it took me a while to understand this, but like it really like aligns with a lot of things I do because I knew for a long time that I don't want to be the music teacher. Like I'm I feel
Right.
very confident with like my knowledge of music production, sound design. Sound design is a huge thing for me, but like, and also like
Yeah.
music, sound engineering skills. Like so, like I'm pretty confident with it, but I knew that I never want to be the music teacher guy. Like I don't want to make tutorials. Maybe I will one day, but it's not. That's not what I excel at. And with my uh, I want to call like coaching programs or like helping musicians program, I feel like I can bring you know perspective of the industry and music production and some personal development skills and DJing and some business management and project management. So there's like I found that like with the experience that I've had over my life, I'm actually able to bring something that is like kind of like very round and very um, diverse, and not just be like, okay, I'm gonna help you finish. Not to shame anyone who's doing that, but like I'm gonna help you finish that tune, which is like great. But like I'm able to bring something
Yes.
different that is a bit more unique to who I am, which is yeah, it's really nice actually.
Yeah, and you can, and by now you can also show results of two amazing
Yeah.
projects
There's
that
a
are in
lot
the
of
world.
there's a lot
They're
of
very professional. They're amazing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, there's
that's huge. Do you what's can you give us some secrets, some things that you do? Like what do you like, or not secrets, but like things that you're willing to share of like how do you approach a person that comes to you and
great.
say I want to make
Yeah,
it.
I love this. I love this question. I think first of all, like I think that a lot of artists come with a problem that they want to solve. And I'm always trying to like look at like what is
Amen.
the problem? The problem is like I want to finish an album, I want to get more shows, I want to because everybody wants to make it big, but make it big can be very different for each individual. But like a lot of times we're looking at like the next step or the next two steps, or we're seeing some huge stage it always comes with this dream. So I think it's always important, especially when you're coming up, when you're early in your career, like look at the bigger picture. How does your bigger picture look like? What are the actual things you want to achieve? Because we might think that like, okay, we all want to do the biggest shows, but like, okay, how big? Like, how does the dreams that you have actually look like? Because it's funny because it looks very different to different people. And so I think, what are your biggest dreams and how fast do you want to get to them? Because if you want to make huge things happen within, I don't know, 2 years, 5 years, you'll need to take different actions than someone who want to take it like, somewhere down the line in my career. I want to,
One
yeah,
second,
sure,
man.
of course.
Sorry, dude. Can you wait one
That's
second?
okay.
You know, there's sometimes cries that are tantrum cries, and there's cries that are like, like he fell down if something happened, and that it sounded like a cry, like something happened, but it's fine. Sorry.
Why
Yes, you need to
why do the
know
kids
your
always go
dream.
for the sharp things, the electric sockets?
Yeah.
I'm letting the baby
The
run here.
riding your bike
I'm
on
like
the
letting the baby run here on the floor, and
yeah,
she's
dude.
going for the electric socket. I'm like, why are you so drawn
Yeah,
into
with
that?
a knife.
Why
Yeah,
that?
man,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So I would
But
say
yeah,
like,
it's living on the edge, man.
yeah. So I would say like try to think big and like try to think like what lifestyle do you want to have and when and how fast? Because like if you want to leave everything, put like a big investment down and make some huge moves in the next few years, that's awesome. Let's think about how we can make that happen, how we can use the assets that you have to like make huge moves. But if you want to make, if you want to, your desire is to have like an amazing portfolio within 2 years, and you want to do commissions, and you want to have a business around it, like functional business, then that's like a different avenue that you have to go. So like try to think about the bigger picture. Like what are the things you actually want to achieve? I would say that's like the first thing that I do with every phone call that I get. It's like, take people, zoom out, try to like sketch out how does your life look like, you know, years down the line.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
Do you say so? Do you go if you're thinking in 10 years or you're thinking in 3 years? It needs to be a different, like, because yes, someone can have a dream, but their dream can be like a failed business model. Like, even though from the dream you're going to do the business model, which totally.
Mhm.
But then again, if, like, in my opinion, if in like 3 years into your dream, you don't have a clear green light that this is it, you need to pivot. Because I didn't do that, and I should have pivoted. I should have. I love my life. Like, I am really happy that I didn't. But I could have just shift a bit, and things would have been way easier now from where I'm standing now. Do you have something like this? Do you have like some? So when you build, right? Like, someone have the dream, and I assume from that you build a business model. Do you have like, okay, if we don't achieve this and these goals, we have to like change direction, or you're like, we're doing this, like, we're just fucking,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is going to work.
no, you're totally right. I feel like you gotta like start with something and make mistakes along the way. I think people are very afraid to do mistakes, and that makes them freeze and not take the initial leap. Now, down the line, I think every business needs to have, don't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. So like you should always have
Yeah,
a few income streams. You should always have like, I don't want to call it a backup plan, but like something that you
but a
can
backup
work
plan.
with, but something that you can work with that is already developed, so that your
Yeah.
entire life doesn't sustain on someone else's, like decisions. Like if something happens, there's a
Yes.
war, there's like an outbreak, like COVID or whatever, it changes everything. We want you to have a living. And I think a lot of people want to
Yes.
have their music business as their one and only thing, which is great, but a music business can incorporate a lot of things. It could incorporate shows, which is a lot of artists dream of making it only from shows, and I think you could. but it's also, and you should, if that's what you're dreaming of. But
Yeah.
like, I think people who are actually making their entire living from shows are very lucky, and they're very few, unfortunately. But I think it's an admirable goal to go out to reach. But you should also have another income stream. That could be commissions, that could be teaching, that could be like Patreon, that could be other gigs. There's more opportunities out there that you can work with. So I would advise for that. And I mean, if you're like aiming to make your living out of shows and that doesn't work in a specific market, then maybe you have another market out there. You know. So
Right.
like I would say you
Yeah.
don't have you don't
Which,
have to pivot from your plan. Maybe you have to pivot in terms of the market, and this is why like
yeah,
yeah,
iterate. Yeah.
this is, like I can tell you that with Dor we were like we sent him to live for a few months in Britain, like in Bristol, and he did a
Yeah.
few months there because he was very enthusiastic, because all of his heroes are from the UK, and
Yes.
pretty
Uh,
quickly it turned out to him like that's not the place for him to you know that he actually
yeah.
wants to thrive and invest in. So we're trying now to make it in the
Yeah.
States, and who knows,
Yeah.
maybe he'll keep working here but not keep living here. Maybe he'll keep living here but he will be more of an international artist. So we're trying a few things. I think it's important to
Yeah.
not be so stuck. I'm gonna do this and this is the only thing I'm gonna do. But if you have a dream, the dream should not only be like I want to do this particular thing. It should be like you should have some tangible things you want to achieve, but focus more on how you want to feel. Focus more on the kind of lifestyle and like feeling toward with your project that you want to have. Because if you have that goal and you reach it, or like reached around it, or reached close to it, then you're already in a great place to diverge from that to other places. Yeah, and
100%.
that's
Yeah.
why I really encourage people to go out to that journey, because when you're there, you might not reach that specific show that you wanted, but you're now in a very known position in the industry enough to have another income avenue from teaching, because now a lot of people know you, and that could supplement your shows that you're already doing, or stuff like that. So it's a
100%.
journey worth going on.
So you walk with someone comes and you're like, okay, let's have a clear path to where we want to go. So we have a goal in mind, and then do you build plan A from there? So like we you go with like, okay, this is where you are, this is where you want to be, and you're just like, this is how we're gonna get there. Do you guys work, or do you tell them like, this is how we're gonna get there, this is what I think is the most reasonable thing to
Yeah.
do,
So
and then you go like small goals, small goals, small goals until you achieve the
So,
thing?
so funny enough, the way I do it is the other way around. I start with like the long plan, and then
Yeah.
I run back, you know, because like I want you to
Oh yeah,
start
yeah,
with the
yeah.
big thing, Don't be afraid to tell your
Yeah.
biggest dreams, and then we start breaking down
Audacious goal.
steps to get there. But I never treat that as a business plan. I treat that as like a motivation plan to like we're gonna go towards this, and now that we know what's next year's plan, then we can start chewing on that, because usually next year's plan feels scary but achievable, or like at least something close to it. So yeah, I usually take it.
But can I stop you there? So let's say, because the goal can be in 10 years or in
Yeah,
5 years, right? If you're like, I want to play Red Rocks, so you're probably going to be like, okay, let's put that in 10 years from now or 5 years from now, whatever, however ambitious you
yeah.
are. So then you wouldn't have like your fourth year, your third year, your second year. It'd be like, okay, in 365 days from now, we are achieving this. Is that how you're thinking about it?
Try not to commit to like to
Of
hard stuff
course, yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
I'm with
because I
you.
also don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to like have people be you know treating this
It's the
as
motivation. I understand that it's
yeah. It's
motivation.
mostly about
I'm
the
just saying,
motivation
but
to go
still, with
there.
the for the
Yeah, but I usually go for the 5 years, the 2 years, and the 1 year, because it's like it it, it
nice.
it breaks it down in a way that I like. I don't think I need to elaborate on that right now, but it's like it puts us in this position where like we know what we're going for. Now, because when people come to me like for that meeting, they're usually not um, a managed client. They're more a coached client. And I try to separate between when I mentor people, when I coach people, and when I consult, when I manage. For me it's like different hats that I'm wearing, all my guys they laugh
Mm-hmm.
about all the hats that I'm wearing, but like for me it's different hats, because if I coach someone, then I really want him to bring his voice. I want him to say what he wants. Whereas in like, artists that I manage, I can be like more like, this is what we're doing, this is what we need to do. Or like maybe even if it's someone that I've been managing for a while, I'm deciding, I'm just like, I just do it for them. I will go into their Instagram, shoot that message for them, or use their email and just shoot that message for them, because I can take it on my
Mm.
own, from there. So I really like people to express their thing if they're being coached, because I want them to show that they can say what they want, they can set their own dreams, and they can go after them. So I function more as the support to like, it's safe, don't worry, it's safe, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. We're doing this. You got this thing, and so your packages will reflect that, I assume. Because when you mentor someone, it'll be more on you. When you coach someone, it'll be more on them, right?
Yeah,
Like, is that how
yeah,
you
something
work?
like that. Yeah. I mean, more,
Yeah,
more,
cool,
more me
man.
in
And then
terms,
when you have
more
the
me in terms of like bringing the vision. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, like how you're gonna actually have the relationship
yeah.
built, and then you have some goals and stuff. Do you go into music bits, or music is theirs? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you manage the project overall and then write does all the business stuff? But do you go and make musical decisions with artists, or that's a no
It's
no,
really
or that's a
so.
definite yes?
It's a definite maybe. uh, and I mean, it's really like, I love to hear all the music. I'm always listening to everything. In terms like, I want to know what's happening in the kitchen, kind of thing. Um,
Yes.
but it really depends on the artist and where they are. And some people who are like starting out, I'll be more hands-on in terms of like, listen, like,
Yeah.
let's make your music a bit more simple or a bit more complicated to fit the market that you want. Or like, maybe I need to give you like a single lesson, and then I can teach them something. Or maybe I can send them to someone, which I do often, to like, okay, you need to learn this and this and this skill. Like, you need to learn how to make build-ups, go talk to Yana, to Caterpillar. You need to learn how to make great drums, go to Door, go to Nuik. So I would sometimes send them to like make up some like a skill that they don't have. I can open Ableton with people. I try to not do it all the time, or if I do it, just to like talk about something very specific. So yeah, I'm definitely involved in the music, but it really depends where we are in the process, and also like in at what stage the artist is in. Yeah.
100%. But is there like a pattern you recognize in artists no matter what stage they are? Because they come to you in different stages and they come for different reasons. But like, do you still like see a pattern of like, do you see insecurities coming from the same place, or do you see, yeah? Are there any patterns you notice now that
I,
you've been doing it for like what, like 6 years or
yeah, I think
something?
a lot of people try to make music that is too complex, and it turn
Especially in this scene,
yeah, and it turns out,
because
and in reality, that they make music that is complicated. You know what I mean? They try to make something that is brainy and smart,
you're
but I think that I like challenging music. I don't like. It's not like I'm some person who like wants music who is like simple motif, simple idea. I want music that's challenging. I love being at the edge of my seat, but I also feel like challenging a listener is something that you build up to. You got to convince them that like they're safe. Like, let me take you on a journey, and you know, like 70% into that journey, then you can take them into the forest and like show them something really dark or really weird. But like, don't weird me out
yeah,
first note. When I don't even know you. I don't know your project. Like, I've never heard you before. So I think there's lots of like people trying to put all their ideas in one song, or trying to put all their weirdness expressed like without kind of like, how do you present that. So yeah, that's one thing
Yeah.
that that I-
Huge.
yeah, that I feel like is coming out a lot. So like if I want to like narrow it down to a tip, like I would say like make music that presents a weird idea in a way that is accessible. Think about the listener and not just like whacking them in the head with like everything you got first second. So that's one thing. The other is loudness. I feel like a lot of people aren't really like listening to the music properly when they're writing it. Like nowadays, I basically like to get to like a good sounding sketch within like the first. I can brag and say 10 minutes, but I would say probably like 1 hour into the working on a new
Sure.
track. I already have something that is like I want to say playable at least, you know, in terms of loudness, in terms
Yes.
of sound, and I don't know. I feel like I've been learning music production and sound for so many years because I always keep learning and watching stuff, and I don't know. I feel like it's not that hard. It's harder. Like people present it to be way harder. Like the technical side of things to be way harder than it actually is. I mean, you
Yeah.
should train your ears to expect a certain sound, and I think that is definitely like a journey that comes with the experience.
Takes time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like making something that is like that sounds loud is just that sounds like loud and nice. You're hearing your drums, you're hearing your sounds. Like just like throw a limiter in the end, and you got like a track that you can play, actually play. I think it's like it's a skill, it's a method, but it's like very easy to teach. I don't know. So that's like one thing that like I can't believe I graduated college, like music production college, and like I've never learned this. I'm like, what the hell, you know? It's like it's so simple. So I would
Yeah.
say get the skills to make your music playable and like loud and to like get the skills to make it sound the way you want it, to make it sound like a finalized product very early on. Like I think that's like a very important skill to have. Like that idea of like, okay,
Yes.
we'll fix it in mix. Like when it's mastered, it's gonna sound good. Like I'm gonna mix it in the end. I just don't connect to that approach anymore. You know, like with all the plugins and
Yeah.
knowledge that is out
Yeah.
there for free nowadays, it's just like, why? You know, get your drums like and your bass like banging like first thing. Like
From the get go.
yeah, and then because
Yeah.
it frees you to focus on music making, on like not even sound design.
Yes.
It frees you to think about the musical idea, to really be adventurous and like and not like be guessing all the time. Am I making something that will sound good or not? You know, if it sounds good while you're
Yeah.
making it,
And having to fix it.
yeah. If it
Yeah.
sounds good when you're
But
making it, then
that's
it
it.
sounds good. There's no way to go around it. You know what I mean? You can only make it
Yeah.
better from
And
there.
you don't have to fix it when you have like 70 channels. And you whenever you put like a plugin that takes a lot of CPU
Yeah,
because it's a good plugin that you need for mixdown, it's just harder and harder and harder.
yeah,
So the least amount of those you want to do at the end, when you just like make sure it's all crisp and sidechain nicely. You don't want to do that like triple the times. You want to do that,
exactly.
yeah, the least amount of times you want at the end.
Because
Yeah, 100%, man.
also when you're relying on a process like this, or if you have like you have a track that sound like an export that sounds great with like tons of plugins on the master or something, like take one part out and like the entire tower falls apart. You know, if everything you're doing
Yeah,
at your master
100%.
chain is just like pushing the volume into a limiter a little bit, so it sounds a little bit extra loud while you're working, that's fine. You know, but make sure that you're not in this place where like take one channel out and like the entire mix collapses.
Yeah, that's a big thing to learn as well, and especially at the beginning, like it's so hard to comprehend all this
Yeah,
stuff. Like at the beginning, it took me so long to understand the fuck a EQ is, a compressor, like so long, man. Even though it's pretty simple,
so simple
it
nowadays.
just took me a long time. I was
Yeah,
just yeah, but now I mean, it took me a while, and I don't know why, but for me it took a while, and
I think
like now it's I think I can understand, I can explain it better because it took me a second, so I can be like dum, this goes here, this goes there. Those two buttons are what's important. Later, we can go into, the other stuff,
yeah. Another thing,
especially at the beginning.
yeah,
And
another
like,
thing that I want to maybe
yeah,
bring into this is that like I've spent a ton. of time, like learning how to sound design. Like the specific sounds I wanted, just to understand that, sound design is like really about creativity and not about like just making that one sound. And when you free yourself into like creative, like studio time that is only dedicated to creativity, you know what? Let me bring it from a different perspective. Split your time in the studio to productivity and creativity. And then when you're in productivity mode, you want to like work on that kick, finish that track, work on that project. When you're creative, make as many sketches as you want. Make sound design, just record, make those mud pies, those chunky ass like sound design bits that like you'll do whatever with them later. But just explore. And I think a lot of people are opening projects with the idea of I'm gonna write a masterpiece now. And I think this this like mentality of going into a project like this really like traps you down as an artist from like it puts you into making stuff that you think is functional, that you think is useful to the listener, when in reality the listeners want to hear you like being creative and going way beyond what you thought is possible. So I really like to split that, and like with the artists I work with, like I see their calendars. So like I put creativity sessions and I put productivity sessions. There's always like one session in the calendar that like doesn't move. That's like your ceremony. That's when you'll finish your track. There's room for that. The rest of the time you can go have fun, be an artist, be the guy with the empty canvas, just draw something ugly, like, trash it later. Who cares? Just have
Yeah.
fun, because this is why you were drawn to this in the first place, you know? Yeah,
Fully.
so that, and
Fully.
also office time, you know? A lot of artists don't put a lot
Hell
of
yeah, that's
office time
awesome.
into their into their schedule.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, yeah, a lot of artists don't really, we didn't sign up for that mentality, which is like, I totally understand. I had the same thing for like a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, everything you just said, like I have a YouTube video about it. I work like almost word for word.
Nice. I
And
like that.
like productivity can actually get funneled into like if finishing the track doesn't work, which could totally happen even if you're in productivity mode. You can go and work on the business side when you have a productivity session,
Yeah.
and you always, because of that, you will always feel progress. And when you feel progress, it just feels
Yeah.
nice. Even if it's the progress that you don't really like, it's still progress in your life. And as you do it more, because progress means results, the more you do it. At the beginning, progress doesn't necessarily mean result. It takes a while.
Mm.
And then every time you move forward, you feel, oh, I did the thing. Oh, now that I did this, it opens up these three other things I can do. And then you have this like momentum. And like with momentum, you're king, man. It just feels so nice when you're into
Yeah.
it. And I find it like, by now I find it like, how do you say, infectious. Like when I get one thing done, I get the second thing done, and like it's just, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so nice. But I think it's because now I see a lot more results than I ever saw before with the music stuff.
What do you what do you think has changed? Like, like
I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing. I've never done the thing. I hated social media forever,
yeah.
and now I'm doing the thing. And I know what I'm doing as well when I'm doing the thing. Like there's a I know what content I put out. I enjoy the fact that I put value out rather than asking for people to look at me. I give things out, which makes me feel very
Yeah.
good about
And
spending
that
time
connects
doing
to what
it.
we were saying before
And
about
that
giving, you know what I mean? Like when you have a lot to give,
heaps,
yeah.
heaps, yes. It's reciprocal. So your connection, your relationship becomes way more connected. And it's not about you asking for them to check out your thing, that thing if you're done. It's about, I made a thing for you. And though when you make music and say I make this thing for you, or even though if that's what you felt, it doesn't come out the same. On social media, it'd be like, I made a thing, go and check it out. You do a thing for me. That's how it comes out to be. Though it's not, but I'm just saying on the way it is on social media, it makes it way easier for me to give, and then when I ask, I feel good about asking. though and before it was very like me, and
Right.
then it made me post like fucking once every whatever. But I hated it so much that like I never took photos in Oregon Eclipse. I have like 5 photos from a friend that did that. Boom! I didn't take a video. I didn't take one. I have like just rent. Luckily, people take videos and like like the biggest moments of my life. I was like, fuck this. I don't fucking need this.
Yeah. But
And
but
now
what
I
made you
am on the
change?
absolute
But
opposite.
what opened you like to go beyond that
The
obstacle of like, okay, I'm gonna do the social media thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But from it basically since dadding and trying to, and needing to be the person that brings money to the house on a sustainable level, I had to stop with music because it's not sustainable, and I started thinking of what business I can do, and I didn't have any skills to offer except Ableton. So, which in my opinion has nothing to do with money. So I was like, okay, well, I need to do something else. So I need to like gain a skill. So I started gardening and landscaping, which is an easy skill to get. And fast forward, 3 years after of doing a bunch of that and doing music on the sides and I learned so many. I got hooked on business podcasts and business books and stuff like this, and how to make money and how to live the life you want to live and shit like this that like I've heard before, and it made me get a skill. I learned web design, web development. Then I got into AI apps, all these things because I took from inspiration from all these people. And then the main thing that got me back on music was someone talking about where is your unfair advantage, which made it has the most ROI, like return on investment from any other bits you're gonna do. So if I'll start something from scratch like gardening, it will take me the longest time to get to the point where I can pull this off. Though if I will go to the thousands of followers and 10-year experience that I have, I will probably have the fastest return on investment because of that if I do it correctly. So I got into music and I started listening to people that I really, really, really resonated with. And then I just did a thing. I was like, okay, I'm just going to post on social media for 90 days. And everything came from there. Everything that's happening now came because I did this one step and I realized everything else after. So starting this podcast was to fill time in the, I needed to have posts because I can't just post photos of me saying, oh, how that gig was awesome. Oh, that was, it's not, it's just I would I especially because I didn't have photos because I hated it, and then I had to bring something in. So I was like, okay, what else can I do with my time that will actually add value rather than make people look at me, and that shifted heaps. Like it's so I can go, man. I'm like a vegan when it comes to this stuff now. So it's
You're talking to a vegan.
so that kind of yeah. You know what I mean then. So it's that is just bursted heaps of knowledge into action, and from me taking action, I got better and better at doing the thing, and now I am very confident in the thing that I'm doing.
Yeah,
You know.
it's great.
But yeah, man, it's been a wild ride, and it's still wild. But I've never felt so good. Like this from this half a year has been absolutely amazing, like life changing. From I can't believe it happened from posting on social media. Do you know
Wow,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's
No,
like
it looks great.
it ended up being
It
the
looks great, man. Like I'm really happy to see, you presenting yourself and like sharing the knowledge you've achieved over so many years. Like I've known you for many years now, but like it's nice to see you like
yeah.
expressing and finding this medium in which you have so much to say, and it's like it's cool because like no matter how many conversation we'll have, the fact that you're still able to bring like, oh, I have this bit of information or this idea or this tip that I want to give, so you're able to constantly share with the world your experience, and this is great. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is that everyone can do that.
Totally.
And it doesn't matter if you're just starting. That is one big thing that probably no one will change. But it's the biggest thing is that if you just learn sidechain, just teach sidechain to someone else. Like you can just do that and become someone that teaches just from the beginning. But yeah, that's it all. it can all shift and it can all this, but like the fact that you already have value to give, even if you're just starting, is an enormous thing that probably not a lot of people will change
I'll, I'll,
themselves. But I wish
I
for
want
people
to tell
to
you
do that.
something, Shachar. This is your, you were talking about unfair advantage. This is your unfair advantage. Your dedication to things in life is your unfair advantage. And when we were talking earlier about like skills and like, coaching and stuff, this is why I got into this place because I want to help people transcend themselves because the ability to be like, I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna do this thing is more important than any skill I can teach you. Like sidechain, ring mount sidechain. You throw it, you route it, it's done. Sidechain is easy. It's like easier than it's ever been. Like it doesn't matter. What matters is really like becoming the person who is so dedicated to their craft that they're gonna make it work. And then, that could be your music project, that could be your, music teaching business, that could be your family, that could be all the things you're doing. You're becoming a person who is dedicated to being, you know? And this is beautiful. And this is
100%.
beautiful.
And and you get to actualize that personality. And when you do that, when you take action, is when like you get pumped, like the dedication exists. Man, to wrap it up,
Okay.
so I can go be a dad. I feel
Well,
like I need to go be a dad over
I'll
there.
do the same.
Dude, what is the biggest, like number one thing that someone that's starting now need to do in order for him to have a good chance? What is the number one advice that you will give someone that's starting out? Would it be dedication? Would that be it?
With dedication, I would put it in maybe in a different context of like, be relentless with your work. Don't think that too much of like that one track or that one album. Think bigger and go for the amount. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, to make tracks that aren't good enough. Just start. The more you do it, the more you crunch tracks out, the more you get experience, the more you make mistakes, the further you'll become. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, every time I go out on a new project, I'm like, let's go make mistakes, man. That's like, let's go make some
Yeah,
mistakes.
that's a good motto.
Otherwise, we're not gonna grow. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thank you so much,
That's
man.
awesome, man. Hell yeah. Dude, thank you.
Yeah,
Let's do it again tomorrow.
yeah, sure.
But
Same time.
yeah, man. Yeah, same time. Same time. Maybe an hour before, so I can help out there. Love you,
Thank you,
man.
bro.
Good to see
Thanks
you. Good
for
to see you
inviting
again,
me
man.
over.
Good to know all your knowledge, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And may we meet again sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Thanks, my friend from the
Yeah,